This is the Septimus district west of Mackay. On CANEGROWERS Virtual Bus Tour today, we'll meet Smart Cane BMP accredited grower Lindsay Neilsen. His farm is one of 60 in Queensland, which is part of the CANEGROWERS Enhanced Efficiency Fertiliser project. EEF60 is a 3-year study tracking the performance of gradual release fertilisers. It's weighing up their potential for reduced nutrient loss against the cost and impact on productivity. Lindsay is preparing blocks for planting. The ripper breaks up soil compaction from the previous cane growing cycle and helps improve water and nutrient holding capacity. The crumble roller aerates the surface layer ahead of planting, leaving soil microbes at work in the layer beneath. Mackay Area Productivity Services Senior Agronomist David McCallum is checking on the crop involved in the EEF60 trial. But our starting point is this block, being wrested from cane production with a multi-crop legume fallow.
You can see from the soil that it's a really hard, it's a sandy, big grain sandy soil. It's not a very great soil, but I think the fact that he's putting the trash back into it to break down slowly, he hasn't burnt the trash, which is really good. He's doing the basics, he's putting a bit of nutrition, he's fixing his pH, and he's not doing a hell of a lot of groundwork, which is really good.
Best practice farming is all about working the ground less. The inter-row space has been left undisturbed and the plant zone minimally tilled.
The more you work the soil, the more damage you do to the soil microbes and the biology. That's a proven fact. So the less you can work the soil, the better for the soil and the biology. And that's exactly what he's doing here. He isn't overworking the soil. He isn't disturbing the interspace because the mung beans are going to be planted on these beds. They're not big beds, but they're sufficient for what he needs.
The block has been prepared for planting mung beans, which will be followed by a summer crop of soybeans, before cane production resumes next season.
We've put lime on at about 1.5 tons, and then I've worked it in and then put mill mud on top of that at the 50. I'm hoping that, well, the mill mud, I done the same thing last year with my soybeans with the mill mud, and it sort of acts like a slow release fertiliser and gives the beans a bit of nitrogen all the way through it. Hopefully the mung beans should supply a bit of their own nitrogen as well. They should then in turn help the soybeans, and the soybeans going through the cane will help the cane.
The legumes will enrich the soil with organic nitrogen that releases gradually, but that's not the only benefit. The Neilsens have acquired a combine harvester to head the beans and send them to market as a cash crop.
We've grown soybeans for as long as I can remember, so probably 15 odd plus years. Before that it was always cowpea or moringa or whatever. Last year was the first time we've actually taken any beans through to harvest. It worked really well. We actually got 4 tonne to the hectare of soybeans, which for our first effort was pretty good.
The lingering soil health benefits mean less granular fertiliser is needed to get the plant cane started, and organic nitrogen fixed in the soil will benefit ratoon crops in the years ahead.
It's a big benefit to your soil. Admittedly, taking it to seed, you lose a little bit of that benefit, but there's still a lot of benefit in the change of the crop. Go to a legume into your soil, changes instead of the cane on cane scenario, and the price of sugar at the moment, the bean price is high, so you've got to try and make a few extra dollars where you can.
Maximising the efficiency of granular fertiliser also matters in the productivity equation. Lindsay has been trialling slow-release fertilisers on the farm for several years with promising results, and was a natural fit to get involved with the CANEGROWERS project. 4 different fertiliser treatments have been used on the Septimus plot, replicated over 3 sets of rows in a block that sits under a low-pressure centre pivot irrigator. Each treatment is using a different blend, applied subsurface in the ratoon crop with a carefully calibrated triple-row stool-splitting fertiliser box.
Following the 6 Easy Steps guidelines, there was one with 100% nitrogen, and then in just a urea form, and then there was another one with 80% of the 6 Easy Steps in the urea, and then there was a polycoat mixed with N-Tech, which is the polycoat's a slow release, and then the other one was an N-Tech, same as what I've used around the rest of the farm, to get an analysis on how that's performing against the rest of them.
Lindsay is one of 9 growers in the Mackay region to volunteer for the EEF60 trial. MAPS has provided extension services to Mackay growers, with Sugar Research Australia managing the fieldwork and interpreting the data.
So basically we would go out and do a nutrient management plan with the growers every year, look at their trial site, discuss with them the pros and cons of their particular products that they were using. The 9 growers that we visited have been keen on the project. They got involved because they feel that there might be something in these products. The enhanced efficiency products like Intech or AgroMaster basically release the nitrogen at a slower rate than is available just with normal urea.
Lindsay has studied the preliminary results closely and is yet to discern any notable differences between the various blends in terms of yield or CCS.
This is its 3rd crop that we've done the trial for, so it's been going for, this is the 3rd harvest. So in the last 3 years have probably not been ideal for it because they've all been very dry starts, so the retaining of the slow release probably hasn't been ideal. I don't think the results are possibly as good as it could have been. It didn't really show much of a difference out of any of them really.
These products, these controlled release or slow release fertiliser products, are there to hold the nitrogen in a form that can't be easily lost through leaching or volatilisation or denitrification. And because the soil has been so dry for the period when it was applied during that time, that there hasn't been much effect. These products don't sit there forever. They do break down slowly. They have a life. So the drier it is, the less effect you're going to see.
One thing the data is telling Lindsay, his present rate of fertiliser application is within the range of what the crop needs.
I think the 6 easy steps is sort of pretty close to the ball mark as far as what the cane actually needs in different areas. So I guess if you can tweak things a little bit with slow releases and that to try and help you get to the next stage, I suppose you do what you can.
In the meantime, he'll await results from the final harvest in the EF60 trial. And he'll stick with the best practice approach to farming, that is Smart Cane BMP. It's all about innovating, finding ways to prevent nutrient leaving the farm and finding its way to the Great Barrier Reef, along with boosting productivity at the same time.
I mean, that's part of why we're all doing it. I mean, we're not out to destroy anything. We're certainly all aware of all the reef stuff and the rules and regulations and abide by them, and hopefully go a little bit above that. We're best management practice growers here and have been for 3-4 years now, so we're certainly trying to do all the right things.